Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. So in this video we are going to take a look at how the new and improved EZA Gohan Youth Super Saiyan 2 LR performs in the Gods of Destruction event. So we're going to be running him under a couple teams here. The first we're going to be running entirely under him as a friend lead at 100%. We're going to have my 55% unit in the main rotation, and then we are also going to have a Gogeta INT 130% as the lead. So as you can already hear, we are operating under quite a lower lead than usual, and so because of that you'll probably see lower numbers than Gohan than what you were expecting. But I just wanted to first take a look at how Gohan does under a team category that I've used to defeat this event before. I wanted to also see how he did as a lead, and I wanted to see how he did as a 100% unit. So I thought we would be able to take a look at all of that. And then in the second team, we'll take a look at how he performs under Cell and a Android Saga based team. Now obviously that does limit us slightly in terms of what units we can take, but it's going to be somewhat interesting to take a look at. So we'll definitely take a look at both teams, see how they do, and obviously try and get a good idea of where Gohan stands in terms of the current meta. But that being said, let's take a look at how he's doing right here. So we have the two versions. You can see there plainly the difference between a 100% version and a non 100% version. The 100% rocking a cool 80k, which will jump up tremendously once he fires a super attack. Remember, he will gain and essentially almost double his defense upon super attack. So we're looking at about 140, 150k, along with him also raising his defense for one turn on his super attack effect as well. So we're going to get a good idea of how much damage Gohan takes. 20k, that was before activating his additional defense, which isn't that bad. We do have an item active, and then double digits. We'll now also see how much a 100% Gohan takes from a super, and only 85k with an item active. So right off the bat, that Gohan there, that 100% unit Gohan, is perfectly viable for this event. His damage was low. Obviously we didn't get a lot of orbs, but more importantly, just based off of what he was taking in terms of damage, he was already doing more than fine in terms of defense. Now for the 55% unit, he takes 15k or so after supering. Now remember, Gohan doesn't really raise his defense any further rather than being on the super, unless he maybe fires an additional super, which is impossible at 55% without equipment. So essentially, for the most part, Gohan at 55% would be a manageable floating rotation. He's going to take quite a bit of damage without an item active, but with an item active he takes just under enough damage that he could be a decent floating option. The viability of Gohan is entirely based off of his nuking ability, so obviously getting him a whole raft of orbs would also help quite substantially. So that is just something that we do need to be aware of. But again, Gohan does look fairly impressive. Just that increase in his defense viability makes him a very solid option, especially one with 2 dupes. Remember, you don't gain that many stats between a 2 dupe unit and a 100% unit, so Gohan at 2 dupes is probably more than viable for the Gods of Destruction event. Please remember also, we are rocking incredibly low leads on this team. We saw the 55% Gohan have 48k defense, and we've seen this one have 80k defense before anything really kicks in. So it's not too bad, honestly. We obviously do have a item active again. We just want to get another look at Gohan, see how he does, see how much damage he takes. All those things we just want to get a good look at. Obviously the more we look at Gohan, the better we'll have an idea of how he does. 20k before super, very impressive attack stat. that's a nice attack stat considering the leads and everything involved. And again, he will take 85k. So yeah, 100% Gohan is very impressive, obviously, as one could imagine. But under such low leads to be operating so well is also incredibly good. So yeah, just overall very impressed with Gohan. The only issue with Gohan is essentially he can only obviously run under possibly a cell led team, which isn't too bad, but it does leave a little bit to be desired. But yeah, I'm more than happy with how Gohan's doing under this team. I think he's doing great for this team. I think he's doing great overall. So yeah, very happy with Gohan so far. The 100% is doing fantastically. The non 100% is not going to do so great, but that's okay, because we do need to see how all varying types of the Gohan do. So now this is obviously a turn without any items. We are fortunate in that we have the transformation of Goku and the transformation of Caulifla, or not transformation, sorry, the ability of Caulifla to avoid all damage. Obviously, Gohan can't avoid anything unless his 5 base evasion kicks in. So we'll get a good idea of how much damage a 55% Gohan without an item takes on this event. He is going to be able to super. You could link level him and raise his defense, so there's a viability, but we'll see how much damage he takes here, and that's going to give us a good idea realistically of how viable he is. So this is him as a floating option. Obviously attack stat not too great, we didn't get that many orbs, and yeah, he will take 63k, so that's not too bad. Now I know obviously he got us killed, I know it may seem like it's bad, but 63k per attack is actually not too bad. The reason being is if you float him or you put him in situations where he's only going to take 1 attack, the rest of the team actually will deal with that damage quite easily. So overall I think Gohan's actually viable. He's definitely viable for the stage. Like I say, if you run him under a androids team, and we just maybe run a couple extreme int options on that team, then yeah, Gohan is 100% a viable unit. So yeah, I'm very impressed with Gohan so far. Obviously the 100% version is tremendous, but we'll get a good look at how he does here. We'll get a good look at how this team operates, how he does under the Android Cell Saga lead. The only issue is some of the units under the Android Cell Saga team are not too great, especially the int type options, but we'll run with what we can, and we'll at least get a good look at how he does under the team and what kind of stats he rocks on under the team as well. I think it's always good to get a good look at these units, and yeah, we'll try and pair him up with some units. Obviously, just right off the bat, this Super Saiyan Gohan is going to get absolutely murdered. He's not designed for the realm of the gods, but we'll still have a decent enough look at the team. So yeah, we'll rock this team, and then we'll get a good look at Gohan under slightly better leader conditions. Obviously the super low int leads are still viable. I definitely think if he had a couple dupes in him, he would definitely be viable, as we saw from his 100% counterpart. But you'll definitely get a better look at Gohan under this team just through the higher leader skill, and that'll lead us to get a better idea of what we can do with Gohan and where we can go with Gohan. So yeah, we'll try him under this different team. Obviously not entirely perfect. Honestly, if you wanted to go for the victory with this team, you would probably slide in a couple more extreme int type units, rather than rocking just the Android Cell Saga units. But we want to get a good look at Gohan, and that's what we're here for. Vegeta is a solid enough linking partner with him, being a Super Saiyan. They share prepared for battle, Super Saiyan, and enough links to make it somewhat viable. But honestly, we're not looking like we're rocking the perfect linking pairing. Of course, you can't really bring the LR AGL version of Gohan in here, because obviously being a tech type boss, that would give him quite a lot of issues. But we'll get a good enough look as is. So in this rotation, we don't really have anything too much going on, which is somewhat of the problem. This Gohan's going to get absolutely ransacked, even with an item active, but that's okay. I just wanted to kind of see how he would, do in the team. I wanted to see how he'd go. Obviously, he's an okay unit, but realistically speaking, you'd probably need him rainbow and completely maxed out in his super attack effect for him to really do anything or be any form of viable in this stage. But yeah, we'll get a good look at Gohan next turn. We'll have a good solid look at him on rotation. Units like Android 16, especially when rainbowed like this one, are honestly viable in this event, or at least solid, especially in things like the Helles event. Android 16 does have a high chance to guard, which obviously does help. If he had a complete chance to guard, that would obviously be more ideal, I want to say, but yeah, he's definitely not a letdown at all. I do quite like him as a unit. So yeah, here we go. We've got the Gohan here. Obviously not really that great a linking pairing, but you can see the increase from 48,000 on the previous team to 61,000. No real good links active or anything like that. So we will at least get a very solid representation of Gohan. We're going to get a large chunk of orbs here as well. So yeah, Gohan's defense should be a lot better after supering. So before, I believe we were looking at him taking about 16k or so on a normal attack. So we'll take a look at how he does here after transforming. Well, sorry, after being on a higher lead and after super attacking. So a decent attack stat as well. Obviously always a nice big bonus of having Gohan on the team. No real links active or anything like that as well, so a good attack stat nonetheless. And all the way down to 5,000. So under a suitable lead, Gohan can definitely cut the damage. And honestly, the fact that he is remotely viable after his update at all at 55% is impressive, considering this unit literally came from a point of absolutely no defense. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed with Gohan. I think he's got a very good update. I think it's brought him in line kind of with, the current standards of units, I want to say. So for me, I'm more than happy with this. I think a 55% Gohan being remotely viable in the Gods of Destruction event is a huge step up from where he was defensively. You are going to need to keep him in second slot at all times. We saw even with the rainbow version, that first slot with an item still taking 20k. But honestly, beyond that, the rainbow version actually will be fine in a normal setup. His leader skill at 120% makes him an okay lead. I guess he's viable if you want to run that way. But the best bet's probably running him under the Cell Saga moniker, or maybe under the AGL Goku's Miraculous Awakening category. That could also be a solid enough option. So yeah, honestly, not unhappy with how he's done. I'm very, very impressed with it. I think it was a good easy A. Definitely could have made maybe 1 or 2 tweaks to make him a little bit more viable. But yeah, I think the fact that you can use the 55% version is always a good sign for how things are going. And these guys do dish out just huge damage. These Gods of Destructions. I mean, look at Cell. Without an item, Cell, a rainbow Cell is taking 40k damage on an attack. That is a tremendous amount of damage to be taking, especially considering how high his defense is as a rainbow version under double 170% lead. So yeah, very happy with Gohan, very impressed. So I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. How have you been finding Gohan? Have you been using Gohan? Have you not been using Gohan? And if you have been using him, what have you been using him in? Do you enjoy using Gohan? Is his EZA living up to your standards? But that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take care, and bye.